Good evening, everyone, and we are going to start the public hearing for Monday, April 28th, 2025. The first item on the agenda is to call the meeting to order. The next agenda item is a statement of the chair, so I will read out the public hearing statement before we get started. Sorry, guys. Okay. This public hearing is being convened pursuant to section 464 of the Local Government Act to consider an amendment to the zoning bylaw number 2503/2022. 20002, sorry. Zoning amendment bylaw number 2952, if adopted, would change the zoning of the property at 1399 Birch Avenue from large lot residential zone R1 to large lot residential zone R1A to allow for short-term rental accommodations to be operated on the property. At this hearing, any person who believes that his or her interest is affected by the proposed bylaw shall be given the opportunity to be heard on matters contained in the bylaw. No one should feel discouraged to speak, nor will any person be prevented from making their views known. However, it is important that all who speak at this hearing restrict their remarks to matters contained in the bylaw. It is my responsibility as chair of this meeting to ensure that all remarks are so restricted. Those who wish to speak concerning the proposed bylaw should address council by clearly stating their name and municipality of residence, and thereafter proceed to provide their views concerning the proposed bylaw. Members of council may, if they so wish, ask questions following your presentation. Please note that the main function of council members this evening is to listen to the views of the public. Please remember that this is not the function of council at this hearing to debate the merits of the proposed bylaw with individual citizens or with each other. Regardless of whether you favor or oppose a particular application or argument, please refrain from applause or other expressions of emotions, as these will not be tolerated. Restraint enables all views to be heard in an impartial forum as possible. I will remind council that you are prevented by law from hearing any further submissions on the proposed bylaw amendment once the public hearing is closed. Thank you for your patience and cooperation. Now let's proceed to the hearing. So the confirmation of the statutory notice requirements. On to Ms. Beth.
Thank you, your worship, through the chair. Notice of this bylaw amendment was in the Trail Times on the April 17th and 24th edition. And also notices were mailed to all properties within 50-meter radius of the proposed rezoning.
Thank you. The next item is the proponent presentation. And is that you?
My name is Brett Ritchie. I'm the owner of 1399 Birch Ave. Our intention was to switch into a short-term rental. We just had a young baby. He's 4-month-old. So our intention was to have some extra income, and it would allow us to have some friends and family come visit. We're not from the area originally. We've been here for 6 years now, but we're originally from Calgary. I came to work at Tech, and we have no plans to leave at the moment. So this would allow us to have our friends and family from back home visit while still making some side income with the property. Another thing I might add, sorry, is there was some issues with parking up on Birch Ave. As you may know, West Trail is pretty tight. In the last year, we put in 2 parking spots in the back to help mitigate that issue. So hopefully that will help with the parking issue up there, and we'll expect no street parking for anybody at the rental.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Butler, sir.
Yes, thank you. The next item is the identification of correspondence received in relation, and we had no phone calls, but we did receive one email, and I shall read that to you now. My name is Dana Gagnon and I live at 1409 Lookout Street in Trail. I received your letter regarding the proposal to change the zoning bylaw to allow a short-term rental accommodation at 1399 Birch Avenue. Myself and my family have discussed this subject in depth and have decided that we are opposed to the idea for the following reasons. One, while we understand the desires of the homeowner and how it would benefit them, we can't see how it would in any way benefit the community at large. It feels like we already have a shortage of long-term affordable rentals in Trail. My adult daughter and grandchild have been actively looking for somewhere for over a year and have been living with us now since the pandemic. Taking away a family home for an Airbnb seems like a slippery slope into rent increases for long-term renters. Although we are completely on board with the idea of a short-term rental if it is part of a family home, mother-in-law suite example. A lesser argument, which I also believe is valid, is the location of this specific property. It is on an already difficult to navigate corner, and having an influx of temporary renters who don't know the roads there can only increase the dangers of the difficult corner on Spokane and Birch. Third, this is generally a quiet, family-friendly area with many older people and families, and there are just inherent issues with tourists or temporary renters, such as noise, etc. This reason may be minor, but I believe worth mentioning, especially considering some items in the news with Airbnbs being used for scam drops, party houses, etc. I appreciate being given the chance to voice my opinions on the matter, and I'm sure the council will make a well thought out and fair decision, taking all sides into consideration. Thank you for your time, and I'm sorry that we can't be present at the meeting on the 28th. I look forward to hearing an update on the final decision.
Thank you. Okay, is there any, I don't see anyone from the public here that wants to speak on this, so I'll just move to council questions. Does council, okay, go ahead.
Thank you for that letter, Ms. Butler. It was well written and well prepared and very, very thoughtful. But on that subject, just to confirm, Mr. Ritchie, you are the occupant of the residence, correct?
I am,
And you intend, you and your family and your new, and congratulations, by the way, on the 4-month home. You plan to live in that residence as your primary residence?
We do, yes.
And then with this renovated basement suite, you're looking at perhaps entertaining family from out of town, but also using it as a short-term rental.
Yeah, we estimate maybe 1/3 of the year would be for friends and family.
So if we were a population of 10,000 or over, you'd already be granted, you would be granted permission to do this because the provincial government has recently made legislation that basically tells municipalities with populations of over 10,000 that you can do exactly what you're doing. So I'm not going to oppose that legislation. I respect the letter that was written. It was very well written, very, very good points raised, but the fact that you are the principal occupant there and you're going to be renting out the basement suite, I give you my full support on that, on the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Cashel. I think, is there any other questions from council?
No, I was just going to, thank you, Mayor Jones. I was just going to also comment about the fact that we're already at the 10,000. We're not at 10,000 yet, but this is in line with the legislation as well, which was my, I was quite happy to see that, as a few principal residents, that it's in line with that. So thank you.
Okay. So, is there anybody else that wants to speak against or in favor of this change of the bylaw? Okay. So I guess that's
You do need to call 3 times.
3 times. Okay,
Yes.
that's my second time. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this bylaw? Having seen, is there anybody online?
There is 2 people online.
For those attending via Zoom, if you wish to speak to the bylaw, please raise your hand now. Nope. I see none.
Okay. Thank you, Brett, for coming tonight, and I'll just close off the public hearing, and I guess we'll get back to you with the information.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Great day.